Happy Friday, team. I hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. Tonight we're going to be talking about TSLA, Tesla. What is up, you guys? Thank you so much for stopping by once again. This is ARCa coming at you with a Tesla price update. Before we get started, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video with a friend so that you and them could consider joining our trading community, ARCab, in Discord. With that said, let's go ahead and dive right into the charts. Apologies for the little hiccup there. I got distracted because I can hear my toddler outside screaming, and I can hear mom trying to drag him away from my studio door. So apologies if you hear some knocking or if you hear the little guy yelling for daddy. Anyway, so yeah, let's go ahead and look at the price action. There he is. I don't know if you heard him. Okay, so we were looking at the potential breakout of, we were looking at the breakout of this falling wedge on the 8-hour chart for Tesla, and we did get that breakout. This is just a quick recap before we continue for the new listeners, right? So that breakout did happen. We were able to catch a potential price objective by taking a trend line from the hypotenuse of the triangle to the lowest point of the triangle, thus applying it to the newly converted resistance, which is this line, into now support. And the breakout price objective based on the wedge is just at about the 4.618 at about 213.49. This is usually the way these triangles tend to realize. Now, I also did mention that we are potentially there is the potential that we have broken out in a premature form. And the reason why I can say that is because of I usually talk about the golden rule of three very often within this channel. And that's the golden rule of three consists of 3 tests of the resistance before a continuation to the downside of, you can call it accumulation or you can call it a capitulation before a true attempt on test number 4 for a true breakout. Now, the interesting here is that there could be some confusion within this if we're looking very closely. So we can see this one is the confusing part. So this can arguably be a test or not. So if we're looking at a premature breakout, we're looking at 1, 2, and 3, followed by a capitulation event to test our lower zones before a true breakout on test number 4, which could be in line with what the SPY is doing on the 8-hour chart. You're looking at the SPY doing an ascending, a rising wedge, and we're already at about that 70% completion, to the apex of the triangle. Usually these formations present a bearish outlook. Aside from that, if we zoom out just a little bit, you'll notice that we are in a large broadening descending wedge, and we are approaching the resistance of the SPY, which could lead into a test to the downside. Now, again, if we're looking at the golden rule of 3, the third test is usually the test where short sellers tend to be signaled and open a short position. Now we're looking at test number 1, 2, and a potential 3 here. So there is the possibility to where we could be facing a sort of bull trap at or around this area here. If we do touch this resistance, which is just another probably 3% to the upside, we can face a capitulation event to the downside. Okay, so we definitely have to watch our longs in this area, and the reason why I'm bringing up the SPY is because if you look at Tesla in a larger time frame, you can actually see that it's very much in sympathy to the SPY formation, doing the same broadening descending wedge. This is a daily chart. I know that this is an 8-hour chart, but still, let's go ahead and just move it as a daily so you can see just how similar it is. So this is the broadening descending wedge on the daily from the SPY, and here is the broadening descending wedge on the Tesla asset. Okay, so and now, if we do face a capitulation event from the SPY, which is already at this zone, now the Tesla asset is actually not. It's actually at the lower point, but we can actually face a downside move potentially to test our demand zone one more time. We already did one time with this candle here, but there is still the likelihood of us coming back down all the way down here to test that support level once more before a continuation onto the upside. But that's not a guarantee, and that's potentially in another few days, probably not yet. Okay, I definitely, based on this wedge, I still see some potential upside, and also not only that we actually said that we were going to be potentially making this the confirmation of this the first demand zone. We were actually going to make a test of this or confirm it as a valid form of support before continuing on to the upside. In fact, I actually prepped that for you right over here. So let's go ahead and just look at this and bounce to the top. And it looks like we have cleared the second demand zone and have now converted or potentially will convert this area into a form of support before continuing on to the upside. So that's actually what I was talking about with yesterday's candle, which was just this massive, awesome green candle that we had here. But it looked like it needed to take a breather and come back down into this area for us to confirm it as a valid form of support, in which we did get. So we did get that exact confirmation down to the downside, validating our support line or lower support line of the first demand zone before continuing on to the upside. So this is presenting some bullish price action. It's still looking good. We still have a couple psychological components to factor in or to keep in mind. This is a small gap that we have created. So, I mean, we don't have to fill this gap. I'm just pointing it out because sometimes sometimes the trade sentiment or the market psychology tends to want to come back to test these areas when we're pretty close to them. But we are a good distance away from it right now. So this may likely not be something for the immediate short-term time frame. Now, please understand that I am talking in discretionary measures. I am describing this in a form of raw price action and technicals. I'm not giving you the data-backed tests and into verifying that we are for sure going to go and test this tomorrow or whatever. But just know that this is a discretionary form of me telling you that the price action is still looking good and it's still looking like we may face some a continuation to the upside. And also for the fact that we don't always have to reach the price objective of the formation itself, but there is a potential to where it is going to be doing that. Now, the particular area where we are within the 8-hour chart is also a very good area. We're well within the golden pocket, which is located usually between the 0.618 and 382. We are looking at an inverse fib right over here, but it is still a very important area. And as you can see, the candle from today actually reached the 0.618 at about $182. So this can help us continue on to the upside since it is a golden mean or golden ratio. The little bit of a dangerous part is that in our normal, I don't know what they're saying there, in our normal Fibonacci retracement, we are approaching the resistance of the 1.618 at 183.57. So this is something we have to watch out for. Okay, because this can present another type of resistance before us coming down. So this is a strong area of support and or resistance when the price is located appropriately. In this case, we are below it. Okay, so let's pull up some moving averages and just see what we have going for us. Okay, so the exponential moving average 7-day period is still below us, and this is a great thing. That means that we do have a form of support before also continuing on to the upside. And this isn't saying that we're going to go down. I'm just saying that we do have some areas of relevant support. This EMA 7 is very much in confluence with our 1.272 at 180.12. Let's go ahead and take those out and now add our simple moving averages. So the SMA 10 is now starting to make its curvature to the upside. It is now acting as a support for us. Okay, so this is very much recent. We are in the 8-hour chart, so we have now broken out of it, and it looks like we could have another area of support. Alongside the SMA 10, it looks like we have the 1.618 inverse ratio as a support form as well. If we do start reaching these lower areas here, this is very much an opportunity for the shorts to really just take this down to test our newly converted resistance into support. The test number 1, 2, and 3, and 4 that I was talking about earlier, the confusion of it is that this may not be a test, but if it is, we're looking at 1, 2, 3, and a true test of the breakout number 4, in which we still haven't retraced to test our newly converted resistance into support before a continuation onto the upside. Okay, so there's that potential risk. This is a bullish formation. It is suggesting upside, but we have to also follow the rules of the playbook. Okay, so there is that potential. Let's move on to the next chart. This is going to be the RSI profile, just so we can see a suggestion for direction in the coming sessions. So let's actually open up one pane and look at the 12-hour, because we've been following the 12-hour and noticing several drives of phantom bullish divergence. We have a couple drives of regular bullish divergence, and now we actually, in the recent price action, we've actually printed another 3 brand new drives of bullish divergence. So this is very much looking good. Hold on just a sec, you guys. Yeah, did I just say bullish? No, I'm sorry. These are when we're coming up from the trend up here. This is actually suggesting a potential downside. So it could. I can't say that it actually was in play for these bearish divergences. I colored them differently. I'm sorry. I'm using my language in the wrong way. I can't say that we've already played out that downside. Because this doesn't look like it's enough downside for considering that we're in a 12-hour chart. This is where I'm leaning towards this pattern having the potential, desire to want to test this area here, and thus filling the gap that we have between these two candles here. It looks like maybe we have a psychological factor actually in play now. I tend to find the psychology within trading as an incredibly important aspect of trading. So this is why I mention psychology or sentiment so much. Okay, so looking at some 3 drives of primary hidden bearish divergence. There I go again. Hidden bearish divergence. Please know that this is likely presenting a downside. And now let's go ahead and just open up the multi-pane and see if we can verify some of that within the price action. Okay, so man, this is becoming a little difficult. Bulls, I definitely need you to watch your longs. There are certainly some signals here that are leaning towards the immediate short-term time frame is suggesting upside. Okay, it is in the bull weakness percentile, which is something that I can actually show you within the RSI diagram that we've drawn here. So this is the RSI properties, and these 4 zones right here are these 4 zones. Okay, so just so you can tag along. So the 30-minute immediate short term has made a bullish cross above the moving average represented by this pink line, and the RSI signal line is the purple line. Okay, so we have made a bullish cross above it. Very good. We are within the bull weakness percentile and suggesting a continuation up to the upside in the immediate short term. That's good. But if we're looking at the buy hourly is giving us almost a neutral direction. Still some upside to go. And the good thing here is that when we approach the deeper areas of the, I'm going to make this just a little bit smaller. When we approach the deeper areas of the bull weakness percentile, we can actually be gravitated right into bull strength, which is good. But please notice that the pivot is very, very much weakening. So it's hard to tell on this area, to be honest with you. Now, also the 6 hour is suggesting that similar sideways, non-bias in direction. It looks like we're waiting for something. It looks like Tesla's pensive about something, and I'm not exactly sure what that is. And I honestly don't follow the fundamentals too much. I am a short-term systematic trader, so I actually base my trades on historical back tests. Before a continuation into a swing trade or a short-term day trade. The 6 hour is also suggesting this bias, this neutral bias, and we are smack in the middle of the RSI, which can present some sideways trading. I'm not sure if this developed over today because of the short session or because there's a fundamental catalyst in play for Tesla. Not I please don't call me on that. Okay, so now let's look at the daily since we already saw the 12-hour. The daily is also presenting this neutral edge. I'm sorry, the neutral direction suggestion. So, I know I've said this a couple times, but I like to say it because it is a very important thing that my mentor told me once. And he said, when you can't find the edge in your strategy or you can't find the edge for your trade, the best thing to do is just to simply not trade it. And he said sometimes the best way to make money is, sometimes is to keep the money, right? So in this case, I am seeing some bullish action for the immediate short term, but there is almost there's just neutral direction in Tesla. Okay, but if I were to just put again a discretionary guess, it looks like we could potentially look at the 1.618, maybe up to the 2 fib at 187.38, which is similar to this high right here, before facing some resistance and continuing on to the downside, potentially bouncing a little bit from the 1.618 and then eventually making this test to reach our newly converted resistance into support. If I were to just guess it, please know that I'm not a financial advisor. Please take whatever I do show and iterate within these videos as a form of entertainment. And I can't actually suggest for you to buy or sell any assets. Okay, so please do your own DD and we'll be fine. Okay, so bulls, I definitely need you to watch your longs on this one because there may be some signals for shorts to open for a scalp or a short-term swing trade. Okay, but I think this is a pretty good place for me to leave off the video. If there are any questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to reach out to me on Twitter, on Discord. I'll make sure to leave the links in the description below for you to consider joining the trading community in Discord called ARCa. Okay, so I wish you a good weekend, and I will catch you at the bell on Monday. Adios.